Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Stud and Dud presented by the Dallas School of Music. Thank you all for listening. I'm Josh Smith. With me each week, the Doc, Dr. Bob Lawrence. What's up, Doc?
Man, just enjoying a little cup of coffee and a dark chocolate.
There you go.
Life is good.
Is it? On a Friday. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
A nice, crisp morning outside.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas is a beautiful weekend, too. In the
it's going to be fantastic.
Great weekend to get out.
Yeah.
See some football. A lot of high school football going around here in Dallas, or, obviously around Texas. God, high school playoff football in Texas.
Playoffs, yep.
Pretty much if you grew up in Texas, it's a dream for most people, so they're loving life right now.
Friday Night Lights,
I'm telling you. Man, let's get to what's on tap today. What's up, Doc? You got a little something for us? And then a little tidbit I saw, because they, obviously in a slower sports world right now, kind of going on ESPN, kind of through pretty much the tale of the two.
I saw that.
That was just so crazy. We'll kind of get into that. Secondly, recap and preview all things sports. Got a lot going on, as we just mentioned in the live video that we kind of put there on Instagram. So, hey, check our Instagram at Stud and Dud. We do a little preview before the show of what we're going to talk about for about a minute or so. But we did preview this. That was what I'm talking about. A lot of stuff. We get baseball news, basketball news, sports news, golf news, or events going on. More news in the baseball realm, especially with these meetings.
Yeah, I can't believe you don't watch the winter meetings. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? That's some of the most dramatic television viewing that you can do during the winter, man.
If it's anything like the World Series, I'm into it, right?
Oh, my gosh, all the GMs are getting together. They're all talking trades.
Are they chugging beers? What's so interesting?
Yeah, they're of course they're having a little social
activity,
social activity, but it's all about baseball trade talks and
lots of trades,
signing contracts and free agency and who's going where and who's speculating, and who's going to do what.
We'll get into a little baseball news. I know you'll at least, hey, I'm bringing it up for you because I know you want to talk.
It's riveting, man. It's riveting. You need to watch it.
You know what I'll be doing 20 minutes in? Probably something like you'd be doing like when I'm watching golf. 20 minutes in the President's Cup, I'm like, all right, Tiger, here's you. And I'm like, Doc, I'm cooking hot dogs. You're already out? Come on, I got a beer in front of you. I love it. I'm glad that you're into it. Someone's got to be into it. Every baseball, like if Steve Kent was in here right now, that's exact. He's watching the same exact.
You know why he's not in here right now? Because he's at the winter meetings in San Diego.
There you go. All right. The one thing I can't wait to get back to, and we can maybe do this next week, but I know we just do it so often. But we're definitely going today. The Mount Rushmore of basketball player duos. That's another thing we previewed.
Yeah.
There are definitely, when you break it down, which I have on my phone, there's at least, they broke down top 50, which there are definitely 5 to 10 you can argue, which four's got to go in. But this would be like this year in the college football playoff. There's about 8-ish.
You know what I found out when I did this little research? I found out there's not a lot of the duos. They're not, I can't think of any duo that I really was blown away with both sides of the duo.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
And that's going to happen a lot. I mean, you're not going to hardly ever have a Montana and Jerry Rice, so to speak.
Now, there's a good duo. That's a good duo where you're going that's impressive on both sides.
That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah.
When you get an A+ and an A+. You get a 90, in Madden, a 99 and a 99.
Because
98,
my argument is, I swear, I maybe I'm dead wrong because I don't follow basketball enough, but if Scottie Pippen did not have Michael Jordan, there would be no Scottie
I've said that from day one, and people want to argue how badass he is, and I'm saying if he never would have went to Chicago from the trade from Seattle Supersonics, imagine if he went to Seattle Supersonics. Now, eventually they do get Camp and Payton, but you get my point. Imagine the Seattle in 1989. Where was Seattle?
Right. Now
they were making their way up, anyway, but you get my point. Is he going to be that player? Probably not.
But Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen is Michael Jordan.
Exactly. And they probably find another role player, but the way things work in life, the way the cookie crumbles, as they say, and that's the way it crumbled. So, I'm right there with you. Most times, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a 90, you're going to have your stud, and then you're going to have like a 85 to 90 sometimes.
Right.
On their good years, for sure. Pippen, any of these will go through.
I wouldn't go as far as to say a dud, but...
Oh, they're 85 to 90s. I'm just saying, which you don't play games, but if you look at it like if you're playing Madden, or if you're playing NBA Live, or, 2K, whatever you call it now, if you look at their overall rating, you're going to have to, you're going to have Michael Jordan 99. You're going to give most of these Magic Johnsons, they're, the ones with Larry Birds, the A+ player, you're going to give them 97, 98, 99. Their secondary player, you're probably going to give them a 90 probably-ish at best in their good years. Overall rating 8.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And you're right. I mean, you're not going to see a... Point being, here's in my case, in my head, it sounds great, John Elway and Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis was more than 99 by the time John Elway was still John Elway, but he was more than 85 at that point. And Terrell Davis was that's why I'm like, there's never really but I'm right there with you when you think about it. But we're going to get into that, which I can't wait.
Okay.
I had to talk about it.
Yeah, well,
it kind of gave me a little something to talk about this week as well, just being it's basketball season. And then one thing, too, we're going to get to, the duos that last this long anymore. Because we can go through duos nowadays, but they last for 2 seconds. They don't last that long.
Yeah. No loyalty.
None. But first, did you see the Illinois player Kofi Cockburn?
I did not see that. I saw that.
Accidentally hit it was crazy. So he goes up for gets fouled and hacked and kind of rolls in and does one of those. And like he's facing that way now. By the time he gets hacked, he's facing back like the basket.
So he's doing he does a fist pump.
Yeah, kind of does that like around this way, and the ref that literally called the foul is standing there like, and then boom, right on top of his head.
Did it knock him out, man?
Well, I don't know if it knocked him out, but it definitely knocked him down. Probably got him a little woo-woo cuckoo for sure. It was pretty funny to see. But then look, what's crazy in the same week, that was on Wednesday night. On Saturday, so a week from tomorrow, today's Friday, obviously, but last Saturday, another game that was an actual real sucker punch. I'm sure you saw this too, but yeah, I didn't see both of these, but it were like back-to-back news, how one was an accidental and then one was... This was obviously in a smaller, like 2A or whatever, but St. Leo University is what it is. But yeah, senior guard Isaiah Hill literally suspended 2 games for, you see him running down the side of the court, and the white guy's guarding, they're both guarding, whatever anyway, but they're guarding each other regardless. And they kind of wrap back around. You can tell he's trying to do like one of those.
Wait a minute, did you just say white guy?
Yeah, because he's a little white guy. He was so little. It was just a little white guy out there.
I was going like, okay, this is pertinent to the story. How?
I was going to go into the characteristics of which one, how big one was and how the big guy was. Anyway, it's funny. So the white guy he's a little white guy. I was like, I felt kind of bad for him. So, he's a little scrappy guy trying to guard him. Well, the player that hit him, Isaiah Hill, he, like you see all the time, he's trying to, once they get past half court, you can see nothing going on either. Nothing like that I can observe from the beginning of the video, because it's always what you ever get because of these smaller games. It's just usually like little someone luckily is filming at the game for whatever reason, filming at that time and caught this incident. Right. And literally, so they're going down, half court, and he's right on him being all pesky. Well, he tries to wrap around and does a screen and comes back. And you can, this little pesky white guy, man, he's all over him and he won't leave him alone. For whatever reason, I don't know if he was just tired of him, but Isaiah Hill just wallops him. And he goes like that, and that's why you can't tell in the video if he hit him with his fist or with his forearm.
Yeah. You never get past pesky little black guys.
Well, yeah.
Right? There are always big pesky black guys.
Right.
How come there are no little pesky black guys?
There used to be. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me back in the day? Muggsy Bogues? I mean, we can go through a lot. What are you talking about, Lil? I'm not. There are exactly. I'm not saying that either black or white. I just thought it was funny because I felt bad for the little white guy. He's just out there, a little. Anyway, I don't know why I had to start clarifying that he was white. He was white with brown hair. He stood about 5'5".
That totally cracked me up, man. Because you're going like
a
white guy.
I'm like,
what? Did you just say white guy?
Yeah, a little white guy. Okay. It was a little white guy though. I felt bad for him. It was funny. But anyway, that guy was tired of, I guess, him being pesky regardless. Doesn't matter. Obviously, the color, white, yellow, green. He was a pesky guy. He was a pesky little gnat. Would not leave him alone, this little white guy. He was like, man. And then anyway, he gave him a good sucker punch. And so I guess he got suspended. But here's what's crazy. It wasn't seen because luckily it went long enough, the video did, to where... little white.
He threw the punch
Isaiah
intentionally.
Hill hit Nick Smith. My gosh, my poor cousin Nick Smith. Anyway, regardless, let me break down names. Isaiah Hill's running in the court. Nick Smith's guarding him. Isaiah Hill, like I said, tries to do one of those screens. It looks like kind of right around the baseline area, almost underneath the basket, like right there on the block. Well, right in that same instance.
So wait a minute. We have a pesky white guy named Isaiah.
No, the pesky white guy's Nick Smith.
Okay, Nick. Okay, that sounds okay.
Yeah. He's Nicholas. His real name's Nicholas. All his friends are like, oh, Nick. Oh, Nicholas. Anyway, all right, back to the pesky Nick. Pesky Nicky.
Okay.
Pesky Nicky. He's guarding Isaiah Hill, and Mr. Hill is not like that. He's Mr. Pesky. So when they're on the block, regardless, boom, Isaiah Hill gives him like a forearm / hit. Nick goes straight down to the ground, and he does get stunned because the video goes long enough to where you could see him get stunned. And I thought at first, when I kept reading on, I had to make sure. He played straight through it and played the rest of the game. Didn't have a concussion, at least as of now, we don't know that he did. But at first, I'm like, man, he just got a concussion. Because he went down, you could tell he got a little woozy, but then got right back up. And but yeah, they didn't even see it happen. And then, no one called that foul. The Nick guy tried to get up, and you could tell at first was like, what the heck? He hit me, but crazy how it was just funny how. But yeah.
So okay, it didn't involve a ref. I was waiting for it to.
I know, no ref. Ref was in the first one.
So Isaiah decked him.
Hill was the one that hit the player. It was a player,
intentionally threw
player on player foul there.
Okay.
Player on player action. But yeah, and that's what was to me. It was so crazy and odd. It happened so fast that no one saw it, and the guy fell down and he got up and was like, hey, man, what the heck? He just, forearmed me.
Isaiah, black guy?
He is.
See, it's got to be a racial thing, man.
You think?
It's a racial thing.
You think?
Oh, well, everything's racial today, man, so it's a racial thing.
Regardless, I felt bad. Felt bad for the ref.
You know I'm joking, right?
Oh, well, yeah. Whoever, I just felt bad. Then regardless, it was so funny because Yahoo had them right back to back. So, hey, I'll throw that in there. And to keep it a little close to home, Dallas Stars, did you see that? Did this just fall on me?
Yeah, come on, man. Tighten it up a little bit.
Put
a little elbow grease on it.
What happened there? I swear it was right here. And now I look down. I'm like, it was like you last week. I was like, are we having one of your little kids joining us today? All right, anyway. But the Dallas Stars, and it was crazy. A day after they had, I guess, which I didn't even know, I guess the NHL vowed to crack down on teams who failed to report bad behavior.
Which was just a coincidence, by the way. From what I understand, that when they came out with that, they had nothing to do with.
Yeah, that's what I tried. That's what I'm saying. I read into it. I'm like, that was crazy. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy how that happened. It was a day apart.
Right.
But yeah, that just weird. Not. I mean, they started off hot this year. They were like 6-1, 7-1, something like that. And then they're still 17-13 or something, but they've fallen off a little bit. So and if there is, that's what's going on.
They've clarified that was not a criminal offense.
You think?
That's what they came out and said. It wasn't a criminal offense that caused his firing.
All right.
So if it's not a criminal offense, it's not anything like...
Was it a criminal offense for Isaiah to hit Nick? I just thought...
It was racial.
Racial, all right. I mean, but no, if you think about that, imagine if you're out in the streets and you hit someone. I mean, then that's what's crazy when you think about this, or even when you think about, like, say, the fight forever ago, like the Pistons. Who was it? Pistons in the...
Well, this is well, listen.
I forgot who it was, but remember the big brawl and they were into the crowd hitting people. Remember that with Rashad? Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember.
And who was it? But anyway,
that was what I know.
None of them got charged, but you get my point. If you do that on the street, you easily can go like, I'm going to charge him with criminal battery because I watch the shows all the time. Like, what's the live PD? I mean, it's the most simple stuff, and then like they're out obviously because you never know anyway. Cops are definitely going to be there for any little thing, and a lot of the times you can get charged for nothing anymore. So I'm like. It's like Nick's, whatever guy, that situation, or like, especially back, how are these players when they get suspended and they actually are, I guess because they don't want to press charges. Maybe because they're in the end, Nick Smith isn't going to press charges. I don't know. It's weird to me. I think it's kind of funny.
Because one of the problems we have in this country is that we've elevated the status of the athlete to being godlike. Being godlike.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the player, like I said, Dante Stallworth.
And that's a problem.
Vehicular manslaughter still walking around right now. Played football afterward. I mean.
Right. It's ridiculous.
It is crazy. I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, nuts. Anyway, just thought to bring that up. The two weird hitting incidents this past week that had nothing to do with color or race, and then the Dallas Stars. That was just crazy to me. That, like I said, because we want them back we were hoping for them to get back in.
Oh, they will. But they got a great coaching staff. They just don't have a head
great
coach.
Players.
Yeah.
So we'll see. What's up, Doc? Let's get into it.
Well, big day today, man. You will no longer be able to text me.
You get a new phone.
No.
You're no longer going to have a phone.
I threw my phone away, man.
You threw it away? Where'd it go?
Trash can.
Why?
Tired of it.
Really?
Yes.
How long are you going to do this for?
Forever.
Forever.
So if you want to get a hold of me, email me.
What about like your kids
the
and
computer's
your
gonna
wife?
They can email me.
Is this for real?
They have a text. Well, I still get text on my computer screen.
Okay. What if they want to, where you get stuck somewhere? I guess you're never really, if you thought about that, you're never really out.
I never
where
go
you do
anywhere.
not need a phone.
I never go anywhere.
Besides here, home, or with your family?
Yes.
And they're going to have phones.
Yes, and they got phones.
Yeah.
Why do I need one?
Okay. Hey.
I'm liberated.
All right.
I'm a free man now.
Well, you better be staying on top of these messages over here when I'm hollering at you, or I'll be calling this office every 5 minutes, and you're going to be like, my phone is ringing, and I know it's Josh. Hold on.
My phone is ringing, but it's going to be in a dumpster somewhere.
I'm going to call this right here. I'm going to be calling right here in the office.
I got a feature on that phone. It's called
Josh's Calling.
Do not disturb.
So really, you didn't even you threw it away in the trash can.
Yeah.
You can't throw away a phone, you know that, right? I think that's environmentally unsafe.
Well,
you said forget it. It's going in the trash.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
So it's gone. I don't see it today.
This is
how are we gonna do What's Up, Doc? You're gonna print out stuff from now on? I mean, it's not hard to remember. I know
it's
that.
in the noodle, man.
See, so that's what's up today. No phone.
Well, no.
Is it like a New Year's resolution too, kind of thing?
Yeah, I've been threatening for a long time. I've been threatening.
Really?
I don't like phones. I'm tired of technology. In fact, that's why we have a lot of the problems that we have today.
Oh, yeah.
People fighting and people hitting and people, doing crazy things.
Yep, makes it worse, certainly. Well, I remember I noticed it like forever ago, even on what was on the internet when I forgot, I guess they were really calling it blogging or whatever it was, like at first what they were calling it. Now they're just comments. But like you would comment on below people's articles.
Oh, right. Right.
And you would just have these banterings back
gosh.
and forth. And I noticed this like when I was in college, 2005, 6, 7, 8, and I'm like, this isn't good. Like, this is bad. And now it's just gotten worse with Twitter and all the social media that's, transformed it afterwards.
It's awful.
It is awful.
It's awful. So I'm starting a movement.
I wish the president would do what you did.
I gotta come up with a name for it. What do I call it? Not how you got a hashtag Me Too movement.
Yeah.
I got to come up with a movement for get rid of your phone.
Yeah.
What would it be called?
I mean,
hashtag what?
No, I'm thinking no phone something, but no phone what? I don't know. You need to figure that out. It's a good one, and then go from there, and then just post on your computer, and it's just you taking selfies from your computer or whatever.
Get rid of the phone. You got to come up with a hashtag. Dude. So anybody got any ideas? Let me know.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I'm liking it.
Right. The other thing I had was I didn't read the complete story because I was kind of disgusted about it. What is it with some ex-NFL players or whatever now being busted for some kind of prostitution?
Yeah, the ring or whatever. Exactly.
Yeah.
What
Is that?
I didn't really look into that.
What is that, man? That was disgusting, and that's another What's Up doc right there. I'm like, come on, are you serious?
Let's look it up. This is. I know there's the health program. There's that one, the health program, which I've seen that the former NFL players indicted into 3.5 with the medical scam. Have you seen that one?
No, I did not see
Clinton
that one.
Portis is one of them.
Oh yes, I did see that. Yes.
Yeah, which is crazy. I love CP. He was my favorite guy. Among 12 retired NFL players accused of health benefit scam worth over $3 million.
Yeah, come on, right?
And how much they made in their career, which I don't understand. And you see this all the time. And I watch that show. I've kept up with it the last few years. This year I haven't really watched it. Ballers on on HBO, the show with The Rock, and because The Rock used to play for the University of the Hurricanes anyway. So he produces the show and is on it, and there's a lot of other people on it, which is awesome. He'll get NFL players on it every once in a while. And obviously he's regardless, but that's what you see. Back to the point and it's sad is these guys just giving their hundreds, not thousands, millions, not thousands, millions of dollars away. Like, yeah, invest this for me, or hey, you, whoever you are, I don't know you, but yeah, you sound like you're in it. Like, what are you doing? Just put it in a bank and leave it alone. Is that not enough? You really think you want to trip? Why is that not enough? You went from making what, and you literally especially most of these players were making what growing up in high school, and their parents made what? So is that 90% of them probably at least? Right. So the fact that now you're making not only $300,000, you're making $3 million a year, if not $30 million a year. Well, some of them now, but that's not how is that not? You were just making nothing. $30K a year was what your parents were making. Now you're making 100 times that. How is that not enough? I don't get it to where they want more and more. Yeah, invest. Yeah, sure. And then it's gone. I don't get it. It's crazy to me. What's up, Doc?
It's great, right?
Put it in a bank. And you've seen it lately you've seen it more in basketball players. Been much more, well, some that go overseas. Well, lately seen some NFL players do it. But anyway, they don't touch it like the Gronks of the world. If you're making that much, you were used to making nothing. Rinse yourself a cool little place for a little while. Throw it away, not throw it away, but put it, just stack it up, just stack it, and it's just going to build up over time. Especially if you put it in just some simple whatever, and it's building 5-10% a year.
Yeah, they don't have to do anything crazy, just right.
Yeah, but they want to just blow it as soon as they get it. I mean, I'm like, how are you blowing $5, $10, $15 million?
Making more money than most people will make in their entire
lifetime, and they're spending it as soon as they get it, if not more than faster.
Correct.
The strange but true tales of the two Heismans is crazy for O.J. Simpson. I didn't know there were two. That they gave him one and they threw one up on display. I guess they did that sometimes or back in the day. So there was one on, and they were both stolen in their career or in the lifetime. Nuts story. Did you ever look into that? And it was a really long article by ESPN. I skimmed through a lot of it, but nuts to see.
Are they both gone?
No, they're both. One of them's back, and then one of them is. Oh man, I forget. One of them is like never. One may never know. One of them may never be seen again. That's the one like OJ's. No, because It is in, I think one of them's back finally at UCA or USC, and the other one is in the one that was stolen from OJ, or the OJ tried to re-steal. That whole scenario, I think they called that Heisman 1. Heisman 2 is the one that was in USC, then was stolen in like 94 during the whole police chase thing around that time, and then was eventually put back, or finally got 20 years. I think it's been back. Like 20 years later, 2014, something like that. But the Heisman 1, I think that's the one they call it. OJ's, is going to be locked. I think Pennsylvania, whatever, and may just be whatever evidence forever. May never see the light of day again, essentially.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just crazy to see how they were just the one that was the OJ, that's the Heisman 2 that was stolen from the campus. Some guy stole it, and someone stole it, and he bought it for $600 in a car. He gave him a car and $600, and that's how he got the OJ Simpson.
Oh, no kidding?
Yes.
Oh, no kidding.
The trophy. And so then he was moving from apartment to apartment, moving there around. He's like, man, I got to impress the girls. You got to impress the girls with something.
Oh, my gosh.
It was a hilarious article to read through.
That's too bad. That's the waste of $600 in a car.
Right. Oh, then the ones that were rebid on, someone placed a $245,000 winning bid. I'm like, you're doing that for...
That's nuts.
It is nuts.
It's nuts.
So
we've had this conversation before. It's nuts. I like Mickey Mantle, but I'm not going to pay that much for a Mickey Mantle car.
I do not get it. I don't get it. Oh, and I forgot to even mention in our coveted Stud or Dud segment.
Yeah.
It's time to talk pizza today. I forgot to even mention that, but I'm sure we're kind of already. Pizza. We'll get to that. Kind of saw this. Like, oh, yeah. I thought it was so funny reading through that. I was like, there were 2? He didn't win it twice. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot the whole nuts. It was funny to see. Just like, I wish they would have done like a United States map of them, like where they were through the years. Heisman 1 here, and then here, and then here.
Yeah.
That'd have been awesome. Recap and preview. We've got a lot to recap, lots of news. First, let's get into your MLB. So these meetings, they're just, I guess, like you said, they kind of sit around, they do some talking, the GM, they talk about next coming year, if it's on MLB Network, I'm guessing, so they're talking about who's going to be traded.
Correct. Yeah. Free agency.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly what it reminds me of the SEC Media Days. They have it for football's huge. Basketball's kind of big. Football, obviously, because the SEC football's so huge. They have it every year, and it's a big, exactly. It reminds me of the same exact thing.
So it's just kind of fun to see all the speculation and the talk and where everybody thinks everyone's going to go and what they're going to sign for.
And now how those teams are going to do next year.
Correct. And then, they start discussing changes to the game, what changes to the game will be implemented,
Always the rule changes, what could be or maybe up for discussion.
Exactly. So it's if you're a baseball lover, it's a great.
Got it. Yeah,
it's
that totally makes sense.
It's great.
Yeah.
If you're not a baseball lover, you're right. You'd be snoozing or flipping it over to HGTV or something,
Well, geez, you're going to HGTV. You're not a sports fan. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
Well, let's go through some of these big contracts. Once again, these guys, you don't ever see these guys blowing through that money. Cole Hamels, 1 year, I can't imagine making $17 million. I'll take a 1 year contract, $17 million. He signs with the Braves. Zach Wheeler, 5 for $118 for the Phillies. And here's one of the big ones, and pretty much the top guy, one of the, if not the top guy, Rendon over to the Angels. So the Angels got one of your guys. We were talking about who was going to. You knew the Angels were going to get someone. That's what.
Yeah, because the Rangers, man, I don't even get me started, man. The Rangers.
I know.
Talk about needing a new GM.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
Strasburg, we knew this deal was coming. So people got two 7-year, $245 million deals. They kind of set the pace there, and then Garrett Cole comes in and just says, "Whap whap whap." That's cool and all, but I got a 9-year, $324,
which was a really dumb signing, but that's the Yankees.
And I called it, and I said that. I said the Yankees. I said Boston or New York. You said Anaheim, the Angels, which they did go after they went after the other big guy. They took away Nationals.
Well, Angels are smart to back out of that deal because that's
why the Nationals. That's what they're talking about too. Is like who should the Nationals sign? And they're kind of that's where I was listening to a sports show the other day. Should they sign Rendon or should they re-sign Strasburg? And they, Strauss has been there for so long and the loyalty, and I guess that's why. But I'm like Rendon's younger, and
now the Yankees are going after Milwaukee's closer. Is it Hader? Or,
but yeah, exactly.
So
they're trying to get that. But they're seeing what's won lately. They're trying to finish that pitching rotation.
So yeah, they're going to try to buy the World Series. And who did I predict already to win the World Series next year?
The Yankees.
I predicted.
So you should have went with him with Garrett. But yeah, I went. That's why you said that. I was like, it makes sense. They're going to spend this money.
But here's why that's such a dumb move. You got pitchers on the market like Bumgarner, Dallas Keuchel, right? You could have added Bumgarner and Dallas Keuchel to your rotation for what you paid Cole.
Oh, right.
So now you have two studs in your to add into your rotation as opposed to one. I just think that was a dumb move.
Pretty dumb. I mean, you got to think he's going to go 20. Get you 20 wins. They're close to.
We'll see how much they love that deal 3, 4, 5 years from now.
Yeah, or Imagine even next year.
Even next year.
You know, yeah. I mean, next year they're going, man, 10 wins, really? You know what I mean? Because
right. We'll see.
we see what happens when people go to the big contracts. Let's run through some of the biggest contracts ever pitching history, and these are that they set the record. First one was Catfish Hunter. Remember that guy?
I love Catfish Hunter.
5
Oakland
year
Athletics.
Here's this one, 1974. Here was the record. 5 year, $3.2 million. Let's fast forward ahead to our man Nolan,
which is
Ryan.
a good chunk of coin, by the way.
God.
Who would if you gave me a 5-year baseball contract for $3.2 million?
Are you kidding me?
I'd be like,
now?
oh my gosh,
done. Imagine this one even, and you're getting 1 point, 1 plus a year. Nolan Ryan then resets it in 79. 5 years later, 4 year, $4.5 million. So now you're making 1.25 a year. Ridiculous. And then it shows how all these worked out. I love how this broke it down. He would go 52 and 36 with a 2.91 ERA over those 4 seasons. The Astros their first playoff appearance in 1980, a gut-wrenching NL Championship Series. But you get my point. Paid off there, but you get some of these not so much. Goose Gossage, remember the move?
Oh,
Goose?
yeah.
5 years, 6.25. That was in 84. We'll kind of fast forward a little bit here. And
Interesting.
There's a few, which is crazy. It's kind of like this year. There's a few. Reset later in 84. Bruce Sutter, 6 for 9.1 to the Braves. Then just 5 days later, obviously it's an offseason in December of 84, Rick Sutcliffe. I don't remember Rick Sutcliffe.
Oh,
5 year, $9.5 million to the Cubs. Obviously, you definitely probably remember that guy.
Yes.
Now let's get to some little bit more recent times. 91, Roger Clemens really starting to amp the pace up. 4 year, 21.52. So now we're getting to the 20s, which is just funny. Now people are getting paid that a year. He made that over 4. Greg Maddux, he's on here a couple times. 92, 5 years, $28 million to the Braves. How it worked out pretty well. 97, Greg Maddux, 5 year again, $57.5 million. So now we're starting a little bit good up there. Now your boy Pedro in 97, 6 years, $75 million to the Red Sox. Kevin Brown, remember Kevin Brown, 7 year, 105 in the Dodgers.
Right.
Let's kind of fast forward. I remember this guy, and it didn't pan out so well. Barry Zito got the 7 year, 126 to the Giants, and yeah, he went 63 and 80 with a 4.62 ERA. Not what you want there. My man, which I loved him, and it didn't. I don't think it paid out so well because it was later in his career. Johan Santana, he was sick in his heyday. He got 6 years, 137.5. Hey, actually, he did well. Wow, I didn't really. Had gone. See, he had gone 70 and 32. With a 2.89 ERA and with 2 Cy Young awards, so 2 of the 4 years. So 4 years before that, that's what his record was. So the 4 years leading into this contract, and then how it turned out: 3 good seasons with the Mets, which covered the first anyway, but missed all. Remember then the injury, 2011, 2012. So
see, that's good. That's what pitching, man. That's
CC Sabathia.
Yeah,
your Yankees are talking about him anyway. The CC 7 year, 161. He's done okay. I mean, I wouldn't say he's done marvelous, but
he's all right.
You get my point. So Kershaw, a few years ago, 7 year, 215 with the Dodgers. David Price kind of reset it since then at 200-something, then Strasburg at 200-something, and now up in the 300. I mean, just really knocking out of the ballpark with 324. It is 9 years, but still.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, man. Ooh. That's just a lot of money, man.
That is when we started with $3 million and we worked our way to 300 plus.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Over a 40-year span.
Yeah, and
45.
I just can't imagine giving a pitcher a 9-year deal.
So that's what I know he's
I can't even give a pitcher a 7-year deal.
5. That's my max is 5. What I'd probably give.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to some golf. A little bit more boring news for yourself, but yeah, here we go. Now you can sleep a little here. I'll talk about Tiger.
Wake me up when this segment's over.
Oh, okay? Tiger, come on. Here's what's crazy. Tiger last week, remember we talked about his Hero World Challenge, got the lead in the final round, but I think it was like 12 or in the lead. Double bogey's one of the holes, but just falters a little bit, but still finishes 4th at 16 under. Henrik Stenson wins at 18 under, but still great to see him play. Even like this week, the President's Cup, and it's looking bad for U.S. They're probably going to lose, which is crazy. Well, that's crazy, but you can just tell sometimes they just don't care about these things, and especially anymore, even though they're 10-1-1 in this. Anyway, I'm just looking to see how Tiger plays, which now let's get to the President's Cup over in Melbourne. Man, I'd love to be there over Melbourne, Australia.
That'd be nice.
Oh, that beautiful golf course, too. After day 1, the Internationals lead 4-1. Biggest lead they've ever had. The biggest.
It's over.
It probably so, especially, U.S. made up a little ground last night. It's at night, which is cool. It's primetime TV, which is kind of cool. U.S. the bright spot? Literally, Tiger Woods. Him and he's paired up with Justin Thomas, which the last couple of weeks they've had a little. It's funny. They're really good friends, but Justin Thomas is 10-0 and 3 or something like that again. Anytime they're in the same tournament, Justin has beaten him every time. Tiger's never finished above him. finally at the Hero World Challenge, that's the first time Tigers finished above them. So last week they kind of had the little they were playing in the same pairing too in the final round, which is funny. So then Tiger, I guess they have this thing going on, pairs himself with Justin Thomas. They went 4-3, go out and just beat up. Yes, or I should say on Thursday. Well, last night, U.S. makes up a little ground, and then let's talk about day 2 with Justin Thomas and Tiger Woods. Of course, pairs up again. They go into the final hole, tied up. Literally last hole. Of course, if they tied that hole, they're just going, until some. Oh no, that's right. They don't do that. It's a half point. That's what they do in these. I forgot. They tie. It's a half point. So kind of like you need a full point. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's a half for each one of you. So you're really not gaining too much ground. Well, last putt, or I should say, it's alternate shot or foursome, whatever you want to call it. So Tiger tees off, Justin Thomas hits. It's back and forth. Or then Justin Thomas tees off, Tiger Woods. So in this instance, Justin teed off in the fairway. Tiger approach shot with this 18th hole. I mean, it comes down to this hole or nothing. The International's already hit. They're a little bit further out. Tiger right on the hole, probably 10 feet out. I mean, hits a dart. So International missed their birdie putt. So if Justin Thomas makes a birdie putt, we win. If he misses, we half. 10-foot putt, bam, nails it. I mean, even I'm like, hell. I mean, I was like, whoa, yeah, I exploded. You should have seen the explosion from the team because that was one of the last pairings out. They win the match, pulled it within 6.5 to 3.5. So they're still down 3. First one to 15.5 wins it. So yeah, International definitely already on pace, but it definitely comes down to tomorrow / tonight because it's Saturday already over there tomorrow, which is awesome. Literally, we're watching Saturday. We're watching, it's Saturday for them over there, which is really cool. And they have double sessions tomorrow. A little bit slower pace than I don't think it's the same pace. It's one setting a day the first 2 days. Then they have doubles. They have 2 sessions tomorrow. And then they have the very last day, like it is in the Ryder Cup, it's the singles where it's Tiger versus someone versus someone. So got to make up some ground. We'll see. Like I said, I'm just watching Tiger. Love to see Tiger playing good. That bodes back to what we talked about back in October. I'm just looking to keep this up into next year. Keep the physical part up. Keep the mental part up. Pretty good. Yeah,
you have high hopes. I don't think he's...
That's why I'm looking at every little, because if he played this poorly, I'm like, okay, now he's playing this bad. That's going to, because he's one of those, he's not mentally strong as he used to be. So it seems like when he starts playing poorly, kind of gets into a slump for a little bit. It's harder for him to pull himself back out of it than it used to be. Although, like I said, it seems like he's getting stronger up there, but
he's getting older.
We'll see, and that's helped some good players like Jordan. They
Father
learn to
time.
use exactly. I know. Look at Brady though, man. Some of them. Well, he's slowly starting to tick.
Yeah, because he's
slowly starting to tick, which we'll get into in a minute. NBA. Let's recap a little NBA. Last night, a great game. Or I should say last Friday night, because we previewed it. Clippers Bucks. My NBA final preview. Didn't turn out so hot. The Bucks handed it to LA, 119-91. It was crazy, all 1s and 9s in that score. So he walloped them, which was Giannis's crazy. I didn't realize, or I would have talked about it. That was Giannis's, it was his 25th birthday. That was his birthday night. Went off for 27. Great win for them. But the Clippers have won 3 straight since. The Clippers still looking good. The Bucks now have won 16 straight up until last night, which is nuts. So the Buckers, literally, that's what they're calling them, the Buckers, the old Buckers, the Bucks. 16 straight. They're playing great. So my NBA Finals on the East side looking pretty good. Last night, though, another good. Boston, right? Boston, you had in there. It was a great game. At least it was a great game. Did you watch any of that 76ers at Celtics?
No, I was working.
All right. Great game, though, 115-109. That's why I didn't know if you caught any of it. Man, it was a good game. Celtics, and that's what I think it's going to be in the Eastern Conference. And the one team I will bring up, and who the Mavs play tomorrow here this weekend at home again. They get another home game. The Heat's in the second.
The Heat's
looking good.
That's pretty surprising.
It's very surprising.
Yeah.
Real quick, back to the Mavs. They played this last week, or I should say last night as well. They played last night as well.
And what did my boy Luka do?
Oh, he only went off for 41. He's sick. They beat the Pistons 122-111. Went off for 41.
I'm telling you, man, the Mavs are the real deal, man.
I'm
telling you, they're young.
Because they got him.
Well,
he is sick.
They got him, but they got some other.
They got definitely surrounding piece. Hardaway, the big guy down low. Porzingis. They've got a lot of good pieces. So they need to keep Hardaway Jr. They need to keep Porzingis. They need to keep that cast.
They got young legs, man.
Yep, that's the thing. They can run. They've got a lot of energy. They got a lot of endurance.
I know the Lakers are good, but they got a set of old legs.
Yep, they do. A lot of old legs. Guy that's been injured a lot too with eyebrow. So. Anthony Davis, but yeah, well, and then could be a good game. Good game. I'm sure it'll probably be sold out or close to it. Should be Saturday game home against the Heat, second place.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Great game to see. So catch this weekend if someone. Hopefully, I'll catch that. Let's get to some college football recapping. Did you watch any of the college? I know they were on during the game, and I was trying to update you on the Baylor Oklahoma game while you were here. Did you get any of my updates, or did you throw your phone away already?
No, I didn't throw my phone away till today. Yeah, I did get the updates.
Great game. Baylor, we'll get into that.
That was a great game.
Oh, man. But first, as you called it, Utah, because that was on Friday night, last Friday, right after the show. That was not even a good game. Utah, like you said, hasn't really played or beat anyone. Definitely beat anyone.
They shouldn't even be in the talk.
Number 13 Oregon hands it to them, 37-15.
They shouldn't even be in the talk, man. That's ridiculous.
Well, you pretty much proved that point. OSU number 1 over number 8 Wisconsin pretty much handily took care of them, 34-21 in the Big 10 championship or Big 12 championship, and the ACC championship. Number 3 Clemson killed number 23 Virginia, 62-17. Do you see that? They haven't played anyone this year either, but they are.
But Virginia's going to a New Year's Six bowl. Ridiculous.
Oh, we're going to go over bowl games.
That's ridiculous.
We're going over that next week.
It's just wrong.
They need to figure that out.
They do.
But back to the Baylor. Man, I was hoping they had the redemption shot.
They did.
It. Number 7 Baylor.
Baylor's a good team, man.
Close. They got all the way to overtime, lost. And it was a great ending, too. I mean, I'm not trying to update you. I don't know if you had it on here, but it was a great ending. Went overtime.
The boys were watching it. They said it was awesome.
Great. Number 6 Oklahoma, 30-23. Took that win. Memphis, remember this? Where they played Cincinnati back-to-back weeks. Well, number 17 Memphis. Get Cincinnati again. It was a good game though, 29-24. But yeah, I'm like
another two teams that shouldn't even be in the discussion.
I know. But hey, how about my boys LSU?
Now, hey,
we were both low on them earlier in the year.
I'm going to tell you,
I picked up on them mid-season. I said they were going to beat Alabama, and they did. And I've been riding high on them since.
I'm going to tell you, man. They're the real deal. They're
Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
is the real deal. We'll see how good he can do if he can transfer over to the NFL. But wow.
Yeah, well, he didn't do so good at Ohio State.
I know. That's what I'm saying. How's it here at LSU? And the SEC where the defenses are usually a little faster and
we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, I'm not.
Those numbers are ridiculous.
I know. I'm not all sold out on him, but the LSU Tigers, man, are a good team. I think it's going to end up being what, LSU Ohio State in the championship game.
Yeah,
that should be a good football game.
What was I going to pull up here? Oh, that's right, yesterday. All right. So, but the main thing is how they beat up number 4? Yeah, number 4 Georgia, 37.
Oh, they made Georgia just look like. And Georgia's a good football team, and they just made Georgia look silly.
Whew. Terrible. I was trying to get into the I know I have it in here. Oh, yeah. Where is it? I was trying to get into the there we go. I thought I had it. The Heisman finalists and their numbers, because that's what's coming up, obviously. So, but point being, back to LSU, real quick. Let's just go over who they beat this year. They are, obviously, the real deal. They beat number 4. They just did. In a championship game, Georgia. Beat number 3, Bama at Alabama. Number 9, Auburn. Number 7, Florida. And number 9, Texas. That's 5 top 10 teams this year. You kidding me?
Yeah, no, that's really impressive.
Wow.
That's really impressive.
So, I mean, saw that. I know there's got to be a stat out there how many times that's like, but that's happened very rarely is my point. How many times, you get my point, that you know what I'm saying, you beat 5 top 10 teams in the year. Let's get into next week now. And I should say real quick, now the LSU now faces number 4 Oklahoma, because Oklahoma gets in there, obviously.
That would be a good game.
Yep.
But I think LSU will do to Oklahoma what they did to Georgia.
Most likely. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Georgia, because Georgia has a pretty good passing game. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if their offense is as potent as Oklahoma's, maybe not, but still, I mean. Will they play with them on I think that's the first game of 2. What?
But I don't think Oklahoma's defense is going to be able to stop.
Oh, that too, certainly so.
You know, so I don't think they can stand toe to toe and take blows. You know, one offense score a touchdown and the next offense score a touchdown. I don't think.
Oh yeah. I don't think. Especially with what Joe Burrow's done.
I don't think Oklahoma can hang with that.
Number 2, and that's I think the first game. That's a Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. They'll have that on the 28th. Those are the first of the semifinal games. And number 2, OSU will face number 3 Clemson. I can't wait for both these games. That's the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. So those will be, and we'll go over all the bowls next week. And yes, definitely get into what they need to start doing to change things up. Week 16 preview. So what's coming up this week? Of course, as usual, the last game of every year is what, Doc?
Of college football?
Yeah.
Army-Navy.
Oh, man. Navy's ranked number 23.
It's great.
Be a great game.
It's classic.
Then what do you have that night? The Heisman Trophy final.
Oh, yeah.
The Heisman Trophy presentation.
Right. I was thinking game. I'm going
that's what I love about that Saturday or tomorrow.
Yeah.
You get
I think the LSU boy will get the.
I think it's done.
I think
it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Some years are obviously Most years it seems like it's almost a done year. I love the years where it's a little bit closer. But, yeah, we have the finalists, Joe Burrow from LSU, Justin Fields, quarterback at OSU, which they have 2 players, Jalen Hurts, Oklahoma, and Chase Young, the defensive player from OSU. And real quick, Joe Burrow, 4,700 passing yards, 48 passing touchdowns, which is an SEC record. 77.9% completion percent.
Yeah, I mean, why they even having the ceremony, man? Just say everybody a trip to, New York and just,
Whew, that is quite. Anyway, so let's get into some of the other players here. Of course, Justin Fields, a quarterback for OSU, 2,900 yards. He does have 40 passing touchdowns and just 1 interception. I think Joe Burrow only has like 3 interceptions to his 48 touchdowns. So Fields has 40 touchdowns and 1 interception, which is just another ridiculous ratio.
Right.
And of course, ran for a few yards, not nearly as many as Jalen Hurts. Hurts, great season, 3,600 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, so a few more interceptions than the other 2, but he's rushed for 1,200 yards and has 18 rushing touchdowns. So most years it's going to probably win it, but, man, you have Joe Burrow just straight going off. And then last but not least, you have the DN from OSU, which is great to see they have 2 players on board. So that's definitely boding well for them, when you see them and how they played lately, and especially in the college football playoff. It's going to be a tough game for Clemson, for sure. I think Clemson may get beat. I think we'll see, because Clemson hasn't faced anyone all year long.
Yeah, I don't think Clemson will be in the. Yeah, Clemson will get beat.
Yeah, and we'll get it. That's why I want to get into that next week too. We're going to get into our predictions of the main bowls, but then definitely go over the bowls. We'll get into our predictions of what we're going to do.
Yeah, no kidding. Because I'm so tired of hearing College Game Day talk about resume, but then they hold Clemson up like there's something,
Right.
Resume. What resume is that?
Yeah. Hey, I got 2 teams in. I think let's go back. I know I had Clemson and Oklahoma, and I forgot what 4. You had Notre Dame.
I had the same. I think I had the same Final Four from the year before. I had Alabama, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Clemson.
So I think we had the two that are not facing each other. So,
right.
And that's what we both didn't have. So I think we both had a point being. We'll have, like you said, I think it's going to be OSU versus LSU, LSU versus OSU.
That's exactly what I think it's going to be.
We'll see. We'll definitely talk about that more next week. But, yeah, I think, like you said, Joe Burrow takes it home. Speaking of which, I hadn't even mentioned the stats, but back to Chase Young for OSU, the defensive player. 16.5 sacks, 7 forced fumbled, led the nation in both stats. Got to think, and I'm glad they did finally put especially the year he had, throw him into the finals to let him get a cool trip to New York and all that, experience that. Not that he's going to win, but you have that kind of year and you play for the number 1 essentially team all year round.
Right.
You got, can we have a defense? Yeah, you know what I mean? You don't get him that much, and congratulate the defensive player. So it's nice to see him to go. Week 14. Let's get to the NFL. What happened last week? Of course, we already know what happened to your poor Cowboys. They lost on Thursday night to the Bears. We'll already talked about that. What I am more happy about, and I'm obviously was just texting you as well then on Sunday, the Broncos up 38-3.
Yeah, what happened? What happened?
They were up 38-3 at the Houston Texans, who, by the way, just beat the New England Patriots the week before.
That's because the Texans had a letdown, man. They
did have one of those weeks for sure, no doubt about it. But there's no way you have that big of a letdown. You have the Broncos up 38-3 on you, and the rookie quarterback Drew Lock going off.
That's a pretty.
They showed us halftime stats through halftime the week before. The numbers, and because I know it's a text I can go to real quick.
That's pretty funny, man.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here real quick. Last week, because I sent it to you, through halftime last week, the week before, Tom Brady was 7-19 of 82 yards and a pick. Drew Lock, through halftime against the same Houston Texans, was 16 of 19 for 235 yards on 3 touchdowns, no pick. That's a whole game. He had that at half. Went right down the field and scored right after half. We got the ball, scored right after half. We were up 30. I'm like, we're done. Done. We won. We just pretty much let them kind of, you know what I mean? Made the score look a little better, but man, great to see.
I knew you would be happy.
Oh, definitely. That's why I had to wear the Broncos hat today to rep. Oh, by the way, these come out this weekend. Got the Bread 11s on. Have not worn. I've got these in 2013. This is when I first started collecting Jordans. Real quick, by the way, when I first started really collecting them, because I never did and wanted them as a kid. I'm like, you know what? They're really coming out like all the time with them. Like every month or every week they're coming out with Jordans. But every month they were releasing like good big ones, like old school releases that I wanted as a kid. So this is my first pair. These are from 2013, Doc, and I probably worn them. Less than 5 to 7 times is what I'd say.
Really?
And they're re-releasing them this weekend with the Nike Air at the bottom. Like how. The original retro, because I've got so many, but $220 plus tax, so $240. Oh,
that's a lot of money, man.
That is for a pair of shoes that I'm gonna only wear.
Well, I got these are these are 2002 Men Warehouse classic classic cut, classic fit.
Boom.
$49.95.
There you go. You get 5 of those.
I get 5 pairs of those. Last me a lifetime.
I was literally. Got to get back into the game. I had forgot about the Brits because they do come out this weekend. But yeah, I love it. Baltimore still rolling through last week. A tough game against Buffalo, won. The other big game last week where New England fell again. They fell to the Chiefs. That's my AFC Championship game. The Patriots need to get back on a roll here to end the season.
The cheaters. I know. The Patriots, the cheaters.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hey, here's what's so crazy. As much as I hated on the Monday Night Football game being no one's going to watch it, if anyone that did, they got a good game. Went to overtime.
Yeah.
The Giants I didn't watch it at all. I actually didn't watch it either. But the Giants the Eagles beat the Giants in overtime 23 to 17.
That could have been Eli's swan song right there, man.
It really could have been. I mean, head on to this week. Last night in Baltimore, Kentucky. They get the Jets. I mean, are you kidding me? They get the Jets. That's a dub for them. So, rolling right along are the Ravens. But this week, some tough matchups. Nothing really, like I said, I should say tough matchups for Denver. There's really nothing that kind of, pops my eye as far as, that's a good game. Denver at KC. So, you did great last week at Houston. Let's see what we can do this week at KC. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll freak out if they go up 34-3.
Yeah. Hey, here's a cool matchup, actually. A battle of OU quarterbacks.
Okay, so you got
Cleveland at Arizona.
Ooh, that's going to be fun.
Baker Mayfield
versus,
God, what's his name? I just forgot. Oh, my gosh, the baseball guy that plays.
Kyler.
Huh?
Kyler
Murray, yep. So how cool is that? Baker Mayfield versus Kyler Murray. That's a cool matchup. That's Sunday afternoon, Cleveland at Arizona. Nothing really else poking out.
They did have a funny line, man. Gardner told me about a funny line that Stephen A. had on ESPN. And I'm not a big Stephen A. fan.
Yeah.
Right?
What?
But he said about Baker Mayfield. He said Baker Mayfield has more commercials right now than he does touchdown passes.
Literally, right? That's a good one.
Which, by the way, his commercials are hilarious.
Yeah, we talked about that before. He's definitely got a
oh my God, they're funny.
Good personality.
They're funny.
Let's break it down now. It's time. Oh, and obviously that was the games for NFL. Previewing what's coming up this weekend. Fantasy football. It's playoff time. It's now or never.
Did I beat you last week?
I beat you. I slaughtered you. You know why?
Why?
Did you see what the Saints did on Sunday?
Oh yeah.
That's. I think I sent you that too. A caption of that. Because let's just real quick recap of what.
You slaughtered me, man.
Oh, because of that. I mean, I think those two guys alone, honestly, Doc, would have beat your whole team last week. Maybe. Drew Brees had, almost. Drew Brees had 50 points. Because of how many touchdowns? He had like 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns. What did he have?
Right.
Anyway, he had 350 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, and added a 1-yard rush. So he had 6 total touchdowns and 350 yards. So 50 points. Then Michael Thomas went off for 25. So there's 75 alone. You had 83. I went off for 140. Probably my biggest week of the year. I went off for 140.
I got crushed.
McCaffrey had 19.
I got crushed.
My defense had 17.
But it's playoff time. I'll kick your butt in the playoffs.
Well, hey, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
That's all that matters. This week, though, but like I said, playoff time. Can't wait for the next 2 weeks. It'll be fun to see what happens. Regardless, next year that'll be the real fun when we get some more people.
Correct.
Try to get Steve involved.
He's serious.
I know, so it'll be probably hard to sway him in. But we'll have to get some more. Get your kid. I'll definitely get Gardner involved next year.
Yeah.
We'll get more people definitely involved. We'll at least get 8. If we get 8, that's good. Where the teams will still be good,
right?
But not too many people.
Correct.
I like 8.
All right.
Let's get into it. It's the time. Mount Rushmore. We'll add that to that. I'm gonna start giving it that little lore. The Mount Rushmore. It's time to go back. The Mount Rushmore of basketball duos, player duos.
Okay.
A lot to go through. Honestly, there's definitely, like you said, or like I was saying, I should say earlier. It's kind of like college football playoff this year. In a good year, you got about 8. 8, you could argue, maybe 10, but that's about it. You get to like 12, 13. I mean, you're like, those are good, but on the Mount Rushmore, unless you're like you were that team's ultimate fan,
it's got to come down to titles.
Got to. So let's kind of break down some of the ones like even the 90s that I loved and some of the ones that were close. Close calls for me that I love watch growing up. And I was like, there were more in the 90s. There were probably more in the 90s than any other era. Peyton Kemp, Duncan Robinson, Joe Thomas, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars.
Twin Towers. Wasn't that what they were called? The Twin?
John Stockton, Karl Malone.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me? Like you said, though, titles. Why? Someone's beating him. Poor Jordan, knocking him out.
Right.
Duncan and Parker, as of late, that they were good for a while, won some titles. Dr. J, Moses Malone, some good close calls. Here's some other ones that were on here besides that I didn't mention, old school stuff. like Will Chamberlain and Jerry West when they played together in that short little time.
That was a
period.
good duo, yeah.
Oscar Robinson and Lou Alcindor.
Yeah.
I mean, you kidding me? That was another great one. Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. So definitely some good one. Wilt Chamberlain and Hal Greer, but of course that was almost all Wilt Chamberlain there. But yeah, like I said, going through the other ones, Isaiah Thomas, those are getting close to it. John Stockton, Karl Malone made 6 on this list. So those are the ones you could talk about. Definitely on the cusp. Let's go with you as usual, Doc. Who are we going? Plaque them in from 4 to 1.
4 to 1.
One's always got to finish off with your top duo.
Number 4, Larry and Kevin.
Larry and Kevin. Big. And it's number 3 on this list, and you have the right too.
That's number 4.
There you go.
I'd go number 3. I'd go, I'm going to have to go Magic and Jabbar.
Boom. That's number 2 on this list.
Is it really?
Yep. There you go. So you got, I mean, you're kidding me.
Number 2, I would go with the Shaq and Kobe.
I think that was right on the outside of what would be their Mount Rushmore, essentially. That was number 5 on their list. Mm-hmm. This was the Bleacher Reports that did this list. Okay.
And number 1, I'd have to go with Kevin Westbrook and... I love your face.
That was going to be a good one for video. I'm like, what? As soon as I heard Kevin.
I'm going with Westbrook and KD, and you're going like, you mean Jordan and Pippen doesn't even make the list? Of course, number 1, you'd have to go Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan.
All right, so recap yours again for me.
Did you notice what I just said there?
What did you say?
Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly right. Who you want to pair with him.
Correct.
So you got from 4 to 1.
I got Bird
and
Mikal, and then I got Magic and Jabbar. I have Kobe and Shaq and Michael and Scotty.
I went ahead and did pretty much. I didn't went ahead like as if we want to do what you do, but 3 of the same made mine. I love it. I went a little different, and I'll explain in a minute. But number 4, Plaque, Mount Rushmore for me. Basketball player duos. Number 4, Kobe and Shaq. Talk about a dominant force.
My 2, your 4.
Exactly. Number 3, now here's where I went a little different than you. I went with the original Celtic duo just because they did bring in so many championships. Now, their competition certainly wasn't what Bird and McHale had to face.
Correct.
But what they did do, it wasn't like they won 3. They won like 9 straight.
Yeah, it's impressive. So
they're the original duo, so I'll go with them. I'm going to go with them at number 3,
Okay.
Cousy and Russell.
Okay.
So you had Bird and McHale at 3.
Right.
I'm going to go with Cousy and Russell at 3. So it's kind of cool we did that. And then number 2, you went who?
I went with Kobe and Shaq.
That's right. So I'm going to go with the other at number 2 for myself. I'm going Magic and Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, okay.
I'm going with them at number 2.
Okay.
And at number 1, obviously, MJ and Pippen. Got to for me, myself. I mean, you could argue any of those probably, certainly, especially those top 3, because as much as they've won, any of these that we've talked about, but 6-0 in the championship, all those names that I mentioned earlier, that mean when you're taking down a Peyton and a Kemp every year, when you beat them in a finals.
Right.
You beat a Stockton and Malone 2
Right.
times in a
Right.
finals.
Right.
You beat an Isaiah Dumar and Thomas and Dumar's.
Yeah, that's a good
That
point.
was you to get over
Yeah,
the hump.
that's a good point.
Then in your first NBA title, you beat Magic and Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
Do you just name all these names I just went through that they said,
Yeah.
you are not beating us?
Right.
Then, in the meantime, they beat Drexler and Cliff Robinson.
Yeah, right.
And then the year after that, they beat Charles Barkley in his prime when he averaged, I think, almost 40 points in that NBA Finals series when Michael did average 40 points in an NBA Finals series.
Yeah.
You're kidding me. Anyway. But to think that they went through, and you think about that, and like I was saying, I mean, they went through Cousy. They went through Magic and Abdul-Jabbar. That got him over the hump. But in that meantime, to get him over the hump was beating the bad boy Pistons, Thomas Dumars and Lambeer. Then in the meantime, obviously other names, like I said, they beat the Peytons and Kemps, the Stockton Malones. I mean, ridiculous. So you kind of have to, what they beat, those duos.
Right.
Because Bird, they kind of split. Bird, and, they kind of split theirs. I mean, Magic, I think in the end, the Lakers won one more, I think, than the Celtics did. But yeah, anyway. Great list. I love what we came up with. 3 and then we just switched our Celtics.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we both had both the Laker duos, which is crazy. 2 Laker duos, which
plus
the Lakers.
It's always nice to have a couple white guys in there.
Oh yeah, you know. You gotta have a little Bob Cousy in there. Little Bob Cousy, baby. Little Larry Bird, Kevin McHale.
Yeah, you got to have a couple white guys in there.
Hey, baby. We can shoot the basketball. Not so much jump. Well, a few of them can.
You're right.
We can pass. We can pass, and we can play some D.
Okay.
But I love it, though. Our Mount Rushmore of basketball player duos. And we'll get into some more of these. We may have one for next week. I'm still trying to decide if we want to do that for Christmas theme next week, or if we just want to announce our favorite, or if we want to do our Mount Rushmore of, because we could do that next week. We could do our Mount Rushmore of Christmas songs and our Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies.
Yes.
Or we could just do, I think that's what we should do, because there's so many to name.
Yeah,
right. We could name our top 4 movie easily.
Let's do that.
4 movies, and I could easily do 4 songs. And who they're sung by. I mean, because you get my point. You could do Silver Bells, but by who? Or whatever.
Right.
Bing Crosby or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think we should do that next week.
Okay.
So some more of that for sure. But real quick, let's get to the Stutter Dud moment, the segment that is. And man, let's talk a little pizza.
Okay.
Mike Elich. I'm sure you've heard of this guy, right?
Yes.
I mean, my gosh. Of course, unfortunately, last week, happened around the same time as our show. He passes away, unfortunately.
Right.
But want to pay tribute to another American icon.
Yeah.
I mean, a true American. In Detroit, too. I mean, are you kidding me? So, just real quick, what obviously opened Little Caesars back in 1959, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Bought the Detroit Red Wings in 1982. First franchise. Well, the first one actually was the Detroit. It was a minor league team. Then the Detroit Tigers in 1992, and the funny tidbit about this, he bought it from Domino's Pizza founder. Tom, I forgot what his last name, but Tom something. But yeah.
No kidding.
Yes. He bought it from Domino's Pizza founder. So from Domino's Pizza founder to Little Caesars Pizza founder. How funny is that? Eventually become a billionaire. Then to top it all off, which that's really made headlines over the past week, and that's why I really noticed this, is that he paid Rosa Parks rent for the past the past 10 years of her life. The last 10 years, not past, the last 10 years of her life, from 94 to 2005 when she passed, paid her rent. She lived in Detroit, native of the area, obviously, I guess, and was something happened in 94 where she was robbed. I don't even know if that gunpoint was robbed, and her apartment lived in a terrible area of Detroit.
Yeah.
And this reason, I think in 2014 when it made headlines, was because he pulled up the original rent receipt for $2,000 from Little Caesars LLC or whatever to the place that he paid for, and then like nonchalantly no one ever even knew. But point being, moved her from out of pretty much the ghetto where Rosa Parks lived into a really nice up and growing area of Detroit, or wherever it was that he moved her to. Exactly, paid her rent for the last essentially almost 11 years of her life.
Wow, did not know that. That's
Is that not just like, why can't we have more billionaires like that?
Stud.
Super stud.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, stud. Please, Mike Elich, I'm sure you're up there living the life and probably even giving away more. You're still trying to give away stuff in heaven.
That's awesome, man.
Love that. I mean, great story, great man. But yeah, when I saw that was the coolest thing. But yeah, real quick, since I do have the article pulled up. But 94, Parks was robbed and assaulted in her home at the age of 81. He found himself a important and legal figure in the civil rights movement. Obviously, moved her into a safer apartment at the Riverfront Apartments in Detroit, according to the reports. Elich read the story in the newspaper and called Keith, offering to pay Parks housing indefinitely with no fanfare. Elich continued paying for her apartment until Parks died in 2005. The entire episode was made public in 2014. Sports story by Sports Business Daily was made public. Keith even showed the reporter a copy of a 1994 check for $2,000 from Little Caesars Enterprises to Riverfront Apartments.
Wow.
Nuts.
Wow.
Great to see. Almost getting a little, kind of gives you goosebumps.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Love it. So on next week's show, obviously going to recap and preview. We've got a lot of things going on, including the college football, the bowls. Oh, heaven for me. Heaven.
Yeah, it's fun.
The days when you get like 3 or 4 bowl days. Oh, my God. It's like you in baseball season. It's just like, man, you get that many bowl games in a day, and they're good teams, and usually good games, sometimes. Right. So great, especially this time of the year. 'Tis the season, so love it. Love it. Give our bowl predictions as well. We'll go over like the main bowls, and then we'll break down why they need to be updating this bowl system. I love the bowls. And then, of course, I know they bring in a ton of money, and that's what they're there for, to bring in money, not only for the city especially, but then all those businesses around it.
Right.
I love the bowls.
Right.
I love it. So keep them. Figure out how to place these teams properly.
Oh my gosh! Are we going to talk about that next week? Yeah. That's not good.
For sure. Because the week after we're going to be off for Christmas because we're taking off for Christmas, but then we're both leaving 2 weeks from today, I think, right?
Yeah.
On Friday the 27th.
Yeah, that's right.
Literally,
right.
You're heading north, I'm heading west.
Wow.
Heading to Colorado, and we're both be cold. Duluth.
Yeah, we're gonna
Duluth, Minnesota.
I have a nephew getting married in Duluth.
So you're going to a popular city up north, and I'm going out west, another popular city in Denver, baby.
But I'm gonna
so
be
I
free. Well,
wait.
yeah,
We're both be freezing.
Yeah,
But trust me, don't let me tell you about that. You may be a little colder at most times.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're both can be feeling some winter effects.
We will be
once.
under zero.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I'm sure, especially this time of the year. Heading into the New Year's.
We're like up at a Canadian border.
Are you kidding me?
I-
Duluth, man, I know. And all things Christmas we'll talk about. That's speaking of which, next week, we got to, being that we'll be off the week after. So, yes, it's that special time of the year. So we'll do our Mount Rushmore of Christmas songs and our Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies.
Beautiful.
Cannot wait.
Beautiful.
Cannot wait. All that and much more in next week's show. So, hey, don't forget, as usual, subscribe to us, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud to hear all the episodes, which you could just go to studdandud.com. You get everything right there. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and, of course, YouTube. That's where this is, where you can see us do the whole thing live.
Yeah, right.
Right, well, live-ish.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's a couple days old
Right.
by the time they see it. But hey, I mean, it's kind of live.
Live enough.
Live enough. We're alive and in living color. In living color. You remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
Great one. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, I'm Josh Smith.
Bob Lawrence.
Peace.